We're in the Netherlands for the third round of the 2013 FIA GT Series at the picturesque Zandvoort circuit on the coast. Before we get racing underway here though, let's have a little look back at what happened last time out in Zolder. At the race start, Peter Cox managed to get around the outside of Stephane Ortelli going into turn one. Sebastien Loeb had a little bit of a collision with Jan Seyfarth, sending those two sliding towards the back of the field, and unfortunately Lucas Ordóñez couldn't avoid the Mercedes, and the RJN Nissan picked up suspension damage. Sebastien Loeb managed to limp back to the pits in his McLaren, but the race was over for Ordóñez and the RJN Nissan squad. They were out of the race. Also out of the race were Maximilian Buch and Alan Day, the Mercedes that had been running strongly early on, grinding to a halt unfortunately, but Peter Cox in the Lamborghini wasn't pulling away from Stephane Ortelli in second place in the Audi. Two more Audis were going door to door, quite literally, as Nicky Meermanhoff battled with Carlos Vieira going down into the first corner. Meermanhoff managed to hold the inside line, but it wasn't enough, and Vieira held on to the place. There was some excellent battling throughout the midfield, and Caca Bueno showed his race experience to make up a position. At the pit stops, Laurens Vanthoor took over from Stephane Ortelli in the WRT Audi and came out of the pits just in front of the other Audi. There was a bit of a scare when the wheel came off. Vincent Voss was convinced it was from an Audi, but it was from a Ford GT. When the Reiter Engineering Lamborghini came out of the pits, it had Stefan Rosina at the wheel, and he managed to just come out in front of the chasing Audi of Vanthoor. Further back, René Rast was now on a mission, making up places left, right and centre. Meermanhoff naturally delighted, but it was the battle for the lead that had everyone's attentions in the final few laps. Laurens Vanthoor desperately trying to find a way past Slovakian Rosina. They almost touched at certain points on the circuit, but a brilliant defensive drive from Rosina saw him hold on to take the victory. Despite Vanthoor's attempt in the final corner, the Reiter Lamborghini squad took the checkered flag. Delight on the pit wall for Peter Cox, Hans Reiter and the rest of the Reiter Engineering squad, and the top step of the podium for Cox and Rosina, bringing them into championship contention. Edward Sandstrom and Frank Stippler are second in the championship, but the second place in the race for Ortelli and Vanthoor means they lead the series as we head to Zandvoort. We've got a stunning depth of talent in FIA GT this year, none more so than 9 times World Rally Champion Sebastien Loeb.
I'm happy because I enjoy what I do. For sure, it's very different from rally. In the rally, you have only 2 passes recce to take the notes at slow speed, and then you have to push very hard with the notes of your co-driver on different type of roads, and you have to improvise a lot in your driving. Now it's a different approach. You need to be perfect everywhere, every corner, every braking, and you need to be on the limit everywhere. And that's a new thing for me. I have also to discover every tracks, so it's always difficult at the start of the weekend to get in the rhythm. Every time I need to work and to try to understand where, why, but that makes it interesting.
But it's not just Sebastien Loeb who brings quality to the field. Ricardo Zonta, the Brazilian driver, was in Formula 1 for 6 years, and he is another strong competitor. After winning the 1997 Formula 3000 series, he then moved to Formula 1, scoring VAR's first points, and now he's here in FIA GT.
I won in Brazil the Formula 3 South America in '95. Then I came to Europe in '97, won the Formula 3000 championship. Also again, Formula 1, I did many races where I got some points. I never had any problems with the cars. Always I got very easy. Yeah, to get used to the GT cars, of course, closed cars took a little bit time because to get used with the not seeing the wheels, on brake, especially to feel when it's blocking the wheels. So it took a little bit time, but what I can say, in '98 I was world champion from GT, and that was something very good and different for me, and I got used very quick.
The BMW Team Brazil squad has another strong driver in the shape of 5-time Brazilian stock car champion Caca Bueno. Caca, racing in GT cars in Europe for the first time, is finding it a bit of a challenge. He's more used to the V8 stock cars used in Brazil, but the Brazilian star is adapting to life in Europe.
The Brazilian stock cars, big engine, heavy car, no technology, 32 cars the same tires, same engines, same gearbox. And here, no, it's more, have a traction control, better aerodynamics. You go a little bit quicker in the turns. All the things happens faster. It's harder. When I race in Brazil, I race in one circuit. I race, I don't know, 100 times before. against another drivers. I know a lot the drivers. Here I come to one circuit, never raced before, only 2 hours practice, direct to qualifying against another drivers. I know only by television. This more difficult because that.
Over at WRT Audi is Stephane Ortelli, winner of the 1998 Le Mans 24-hour race. He also finished second in the year 2000 and in 2002 became the Porsche Super Cup champion before last year with WRT Audi winning the 2012 Blancpain Endurance Series.
It's not only souvenir, it's part of the reason why I'm here, you know. I think you really built your career with Le Mans, especially when you have the chance to join the strongest works team as I did with Porsche, Audi or Aston Martin, and for sure the 98 win was really important, but for me also the couple of years after when we did second with the Audi R8, it was probably the best car I never really drove in my life. It was really the optimum sports car I drove. I think 2002 was a really good year because I won the Super Cup and at the same time I was world champion in FIA GT, which I did again the following year in 2003 with Mark Loeb. We won the NGT World Championship. So Super Cup was also a very good school, I would say, to learn how to adapt a car from another. Back to that period, I really loved it for sure.
And up against all these superstars in the RJ and Nissan is Lucas Ordóñez, the 2008 Nissan GT Academy winner. As the first winner of the PlayStation to Real Driver campaign, Ordóñez has been impressive in GT racing and is this year alongside experienced campaigner Alex Buncombe in the Nissan.
It's been 5 years now since I won GT Academy in 2008, so now feeling, you know, like a professional racing driver competing against the best drivers, best teams and best championships. So, you know, it's tough competition, it's very tight, so it's really hard to be on the limit in this car, so especially to be in the last tenth of the car. So I come from a different way of becoming a racing driver, but now we prove that it really works, and yeah, proving for the future and working hard to be and to learn every day as a racing driver.
So here we are at Zandvoort for the qualifying race of the Netherlands round here in the FIA GT Series. My name is Jack Nichols. Alongside me here in the commentary box is John Watson, and we've got the 1 hour qualifying race that will decide the grid for tomorrow's 1 hour main race. The track, well, it's a beautiful day. It's 22 degrees on the track, it's 23.3 degrees in the air, although it feels a little warmer than that, I must say, when you're running around. Let's have a closer look at this grid then. Alvaro Perez starting his Sebastien Loeb Racing McLaren on pole. It's the HDP of Simonson alongside. Then we've got the Belgian Audi Club of Laurens Vanthoor alongside Alan Day, the Israeli driver, starting the second Mercedes. Then we've got René Rast in 5th position. Fabio Anidi, best qualifying session for the AF Corsa squad. They start in 6th place. 7th position, Alain Coder with a strong performance in the Brazilian racing team BMW with Frank Stippler alongside him. 9th place is Dominic Baumann. They were a little disappointed with qualifying, but they managed to start in 9th place nevertheless. Alex Buncombe qualifying in 11th in the first of the JRN Nissans alongside Carlos Vieira. 13th place for Sergio Jimenez. He and Zonta disappointed with that, and in contrast, the pole position sister car is down in 14th place in the hand of Andy Zuber and Mike Parisi. Wolfgang Reip and Jan Seyfarth are in 15th and 16th places. 17th is the Dutch driver, Melroy Heemskerk, starting the Team India BMW, and then another, well, an entirely Dutch team, in fact, Hausman and Brahms in that V8 Racing Corvette, starting at the back of the field alongside Peter Charouz and Jan Stovicek. So the cars make their way around the final corner here for the start of the qualifying race here at Zandvoort. Pole position for Alvaro Perez. He qualified that car and he starts the car on pole. There's his teammate Sebastien Loeb, 9 times World Rally champion, watching on. They won the qualifying race at Nogaro. The very first race of the season was a victory for the McLaren squad. They've yet to come anywhere near to victory again. Is that about to change this afternoon? The cars make their way out onto the grid then. When the red lights go out, the race will be underway. Wait for all the cars to get in line on the straight. Then the race director will turn them off. Away we go, and it's a poor start for Perez. Look at the Audi coming through on the inside. Laurens Vanthoor could be into the lead of the race by the time we get down to Tarzan. There's just enough room for him. If he can squeeze through, there's going to be contact. They go 3 abreast into Tarzan. They somehow make it stick, and Vanthoor leads. Phenomenal stuff. Alvaro Perez has been shuffled way down the field. Is that him or off onto the grass. What a disaster for them. Great start from Alain there, but the Sebastien Loeb Racing McLaren appears to have a puncture, I think, and Sebastien Loeb himself is furious.
Well, I can see Alvaro Perez got muscled right on the one side by Laurens Van Thor, and the other side by Andreas Simonsen, and he became simply just too much room. Contact, and then he got shuffled out to the outside of the corner. Contact, looks like a tire, left front tire deflation, and what disappointment for Paul Suderman. But what a great and opportunistic start from Laurens Van Thor in the Audi. Took the lead forcefully on the inside. He had the ground, and he wasn't going to give it up.
He might even have gone over the grass at one point. We'll wait and see. But there is Laurens Van Thor then. He raced here in 2009 in the Formula 3 Masters, the famous F3 race that they hold here. Valtteri Bottas won the race, but this afternoon it's all about Laurens Van Thor, who's made a stunning getaway. So let's see, and there's the Corvette's made up a couple of places, but it looks like it's got a bit of front bodywork damage. Oh, big slide. I think that might have been René Rast coming down into the S's, having a bit of a moment, perhaps contact with someone behind him. Oh, they're out of the race. Alvaro Perez and Sebastien Loeb are out of the race, and Sebastien, well, you're not going to get through to Alvaro at the moment.
No, I mean, clearly there was damage to the car. We thought it might have been a left front. Obviously something more serious, because Alvaro Perez has pulled that car off the racetrack around the back of the circuit, and across the line for the first time. Laurens Van Thor, 1.5 second lead advantage of Simonsen in the Mercedes.
So it's actually René Rast who is in third position, so it must have been the 13 Audi of Frank Stippler that was having a wobbly moment. So that's the battle at the moment for second and third place, because Van Thor is disappearing on off the road, and Andreas Simonsen is coming under all sorts of pressure from the Audi behind. Here's a look at the replay, John, and three abreast into Tarzan. They made it work, but there was a casualty.
Yeah, but of course, once they get to the pit lane on the left-hand side, it all begins to squeeze up. Now Van Thor almost still in the pit lane, and Alvaro Perez really caught between a rock and a hard place, had nowhere to go, but the damage, I believe, had already been done, because something occurred in the middle of the corner. You can see Perez off the throttle. He knows he's got a problem which he can't rectify, and all the field just simply passes him on the outside, on the exit of Tarzan happen.
And there you can see Alvaro bouncing along the grass on the outside of Tarzan as the rest of the cars try and squeeze through turn 2 and into turn 3. Car 2 is under investigation for contact at the start of the race. That is Andreas Simonsen then. Well, he was on the outside really, so we've got a few cars off here.
That's our corner, that's around the back of the circuit.
That's off at Skyflock, and that is the road drive Lamborghini. It's the RJN Nissan number 32 of Wolfgang Reip, and it is also the Corvette, the V8 Racing Corvette of Duncan Houseman, and they've all got together down there.
Front wheel of the Lamborghini.
Well, we're very close to the beach, but I don't think they were anticipating going to the sand that soon.
Safety car, it had to be deployed. Safety car needs to be on track to get this situation, this mess, cleared up before this race can get back underway.
There's Wolfgang Reip's car pulled away. A real shame for the tall Belgian driver. There is the road drive Lamborghini being pulled out of the gravel. I imagine
that's come on here. Now maybe there wasn't the front wheel off it, but the clips that we got, it looked like it may have been, but maybe it just was the angle, and
it looks like it can drive back.
It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with that car at all. It was just the angle of the camera shot. So all it's going to do is shred gravel. You know, drive on the racing line, old boy. Don't mind the rest of your competitors. Look at the gravel. He's, you know, is the guy an idiot?
So there he goes down into the Masters box, and then back
it is shredding gravel and whatever else you can think of right on the racing line. You know, some people are born silly. I can't make any further comment on this one.
The Marshal's doing a great job of sweeping away all the dust put out there by Matthias Stumpf. Van Thor's really backing up the pack now, and in a minute he'll bolt, and everyone will have to try and follow him. There he goes. Andreas Simonsen was asleep, and he's going to be under pressure from Alain Coder. Carlos Vieira was even more asleep as the race gets back underway. Laurens Van Thor leading the way for WRT Audi as we continue racing here at Zandvoort in the FIA GT Series qualifying race. Is there going to be a move for third? Coder looks out, but the BMW struggles a little bit in a straight line. Frank Stippler is challenging behind, but the red and white Mercedes is Andreas Simonsen. Well, there's Alex Buncombe. looking at the rear right. So maybe a puncture or say. It didn't look like the car was necessarily handling poorly, did it? It sounded like it was poorly.
To me, it sounded like it was losing a couple of cylinders, but there is the issue.
Well, yeah.
The right rear has, probably as a consequence, with all the gravel and stone chips that were dragged on when the Lamborghini came back to the pits.
There's Pierre Dieudonné watching on in the pit lane as his two men go head-to-head.
Wise old Pierre Dieudonné. He will be pretty aware of what's going on. He'll be watching the lap times. If he feels that the Mercedes is actually making a run to the lead Audis, you know, there may be one of those slightly disguised messages, such as, Laurent, René is quicker than you. You know what I mean?
Across the line they come. The gap was 4/10. It is now up to half a second, but it's as near as makes no difference, really. Only a couple of hundredths of a second, and it's a drive-through penalty for Andreas Simonsen. We'll look at that in a minute, because here's Onidi and Baumann battling, coming into Tarzan. Baumann thinks, I'll have a go around the outside. That's going to be an optimistic one, and he can't quite pull it off, but that's the battle over 8th position. Baumann has got past Mike Parisi then, so that Lamborghini in the hands of Dominic Baumann is driving very nicely indeed. Into the pits comes Andreas Simonsen to serve his drive-through penalty.
And as a consequence of the drive-through, that gives the two lead Audis a 4-second break before the BMW comes up in 3rd place.
So we've got Carlos Vieira leading the Pro-Am class, currently in 6th position. Onidi 2nd in that class, and Baumann 3rd in that class. Those guys running together on the circuit. Andreas Simonsen has done the fastest middle sector of anyone, and Alex Buncombe has just done the fastest first sector of anyone. And well, was that a planned move, do you think? That's an interesting one, because Van Thor went very wide into the corner, and now René Rast is in the lead of this race as they come down into the S's. It looked to me as though that might have been a bit of team play from Audi, because René, when Rast hands over to Meyer Melnoff, it could be said that Ortelli is probably a quicker driver than Nicky Meyer Melnoff. So are we going to have role reversed again? It'll be interesting to see.
Yes, it was. I mean, that was clearly. The Ferrari.
Off goes the Ferrari. Fabio Onidi off down to the S's, and he's beached in the gravel, unfortunately. He's going to need a push. So he was battling with Dominic Baumann and Carlos Vieira. Into the pits comes the Mercedes and the Audi. So Alan Day and Frank Stippler coming in. This is going to be a straight battle in the pits now.
Interestingly, in 3rd place, Alan Cadet is, I would say, marginally, maybe just look at the last lap time he did. The gap between 1st and 3rd is just under 4 seconds, rather than being over 4 seconds a couple of laps before. But the pace of the two Audis in the 141s, the high 141s, nobody else is at that pace. They're all running in the middle to high 142s.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Cadet was the quickest man on the track that last time around, so BMWs may well have some pace. Now, when we came into the pits, the Mercedes was ahead of the Audi. Is that going to be the case here? Out goes the WRT. No, comfortably. The WRT has taken that position away. Normally HTP are pretty quick in the pit stops, so that'll be a disappointment as Alan Day hands over to Maximilian Buch. Buch now out on circuit, so that is ultimately a move for 4th position. We've also got the Pro-Am battle going on here. Carlos Vieira, oh, watch out, those two. That was all right, but Carlos Vieira has lost the lead of Pro-Am to the Lamborghini in front of Dominic Baumann, who's now handed over to his teammate Harry Prochik. So that Cesar Campanico-driven Audi R8 is now 2nd, I believe, in Pro-Am. We'll have to wait until the pit stop window closes to figure it all out. Oh, here's the replay then. Baumann on the outside gives the Ferrari plenty of room. And then coming into this left-hander,
Well, you know, it's a question of not really being far enough up when the Ferrari is making the cut back from going right to turning left.
And into the pits comes Laurence Van Thor then. They're going to try and get the undercut with the fresh tyres, and Stephane Ortelli at the wheel. Also in comes Alain Coder to hand over to Caca Bueno. Now this will be a nice pit lane fight. We haven't really, because BMW haven't been running up at the front, we haven't really seen their pit stop prowess so far this season. So
well, you know, it's actually lovely warm weather today,
exactly. And we're
just
by the
like
beach.
Brazil. And I think, you know, when the weather's warm and the sun's out, I think it really does help the Brazilians.
It could be Copacabana now, I can't even say it, but there's Stephane Ortelli taking over from Laurence Van Thor.
And in the meantime, Maximilian Buch Fastest first sector time, fastest second sector time, and down at 9th place he is just 5 seconds behind Sandstrom in the...
Away goes the Audi.
Easy.
Clear.
Alex Buncombe has handed it over to Adonian with the transponder to be switched in.
They're saying wait, they're saying stop. Whoa!
Almost.
Yeah.
That's the difference between doing it on the GT Academy. If you have an incident in the pit lane, it doesn't damage the car, but the unsafe release is a major issue with every team to make sure that they do what they need to do correctly. Oh, Ferrari.
So what's happened there? Is it?
Well, it's at 90 degrees to the track. Whether that's driver-induced or
there we go.
another bit of contact. We saw the contact a few laps earlier with the Lamborghini, but that time looks to me as if maybe he just rode the curb with the right rear and the thing snapped around.
As Rast comes into the pits now then, and his last lap was a 42.8, Stephane Ortelli did a 41.9, he was a second quicker, so this is going to be very close, I think, between the two WRT Audis at the front of the field. Rast comes in, painfully slow in the pit lane.
Yeah, 60 kilometers an hour, but he has done a good job for his teammates. Stop Ready Rast, the smaller of the two drivers that see himself being filled. Take it out, Nicky Meyer gets in. Driver assists with the belts being fitted, but there is that car that could potentially take the lead. Stephane Ortelli behind the wheel. Wheels still being changed. This is going to be a close call. Nicky Meyer Melthoff, will he get out before? He's moving now. Get it going, Nicky, because you're at the end of the pit lane. Accelerate flat out. He might. Yes, he's got it.
He has.
And the gap is more or less status quo.
But I don't think it will be by the end of this lap because Ortelli is up to speed and I think he'll close in on Nicky fairly quickly. Who's in third place then? Edward Sandstrom. So it's a WRT 1-2-3 it's turned out. Impressively, Sergei Afanasiev and Andreas Simonsen are back into the lead of Pro-Am despite that drive-through penalty. They're running in 7th place overall. Karun Chandok is in 8th place. Here's a replay of, oh, that is Sergei Afanasiev, just saying what a great job he's doing. He's had a little off.
I mean, I tell you, he was very lucky coming into the Hugo de Hulst hairpin bend. A slow corner, but he just ran wide, and that little quick flick to the right, the Garlic corner.
Harry Potter and Aman Ibrahim.
We've seen that Lamborghini being involved in incidents with the Ferrari. At the same point this time, the Lamborghini was on the inside. So if there's any complaint, he can say, well, I tried it on the inside, I tried it on the outside. Battle for third place, getting very intense.
Yeah, that contact we saw was in second, over second in Pro-Am. Fabio Anini has come into the pits and retired from the race, unfortunately, in that Ferrari. Little nose up the inside from Maximilian Buch, the reigning GT3 European champion with HDP. Looks up the inside again, just trying to put off Edward Sandstrom in front. The battle for the lead of the race is between this man we're on board with, Stephane Ortelli, and Nicky Meyer-Melnhoff in front of him. The two teammates cross the line, and they are only 0.3 of a second apart. Third place is Edward Sandstrom. The guys behind are lapping a couple of tenths of a second quicker. Through goes Ortelli. Meyer-Melnhoff gave him plenty of room, and Stephane Ortelli moves into the lead of the race. The number 11 Audi back in front.
Yes, I think you would almost think that was Nicky Meyer-Melnhoff. Oh, when he runs wide, Ortelli gets it all wrong. And, well, that looked a bit scary.
This is all going to allow third and fourth places to close in as well. I expect Stephane Ortelli to pull clear now, but I think we could see second, third and fourth getting very, very close to one another with 20 minutes to go here at Zandvoort.
Just wonder if when Ortelli got past Meyer-Melnhoff, he may have gone slightly offline, picked up a little bit of the residue around the racetrack, and that's why when he got down to the hairpin, or up the corner before the hairpin, he just ran wide, and of course, as a consequence, he's got even more dust and dirt onto that tyre, so he's having to be very cautious. The field is now a two-car race, now it's turned into a four-car race.
Absolutely.
This time, on Mercedes, he's done it.
Yeah, good move from Maximilian Buch. He moves up into the third position now and starts to hunt down Nicky Meyer-Melnhoff in front of him. Great stuff from Maximilian Buch. There's Alan Day. He is watching as his teammate Maximilian Buch tries to get past Nicky Meyer-Melnhoff.
And again, trying to run up to the back of the Audi through turn 5. Tries to get the drive off the corner, but again, to make the pass into Masters corner is a big ask, but in good position.
Yeah.
He's not going to go down the inside into turn 7, is he?
Oh, he's gone for it, Maximilian Buch. Brilliant manoeuvre, and Buch moves moves up into second place. Well, what a fantastic move that was. And now here comes Edvard Sandström to go past Nicky Meermanov. Meermanov will try and hold on, and he just about has. But what a brilliant move from Max Boot. Opportunistic and cleverly done. And now the two WRT Audis go side by side, down into the chicane, trying to get past Edvard Sandström, trying to get past Nicky Meermanov, but unable to do so. I don't think, well, it'll be interesting. Will the Mercedes have enough time to close in on Ortelli? He's got to close in 0.8 of a second or so, and those are nerves on the pit wall. Here's a look at the replay then. He was very, very close here, and Book just forced his way past, didn't he? Way behind, but on the brakes he thought, I'm going for it. All credit to Nicky Meermanov, saw him coming, left him room. Meermanov then nearly got overtaken by Sandström, but he managed to hold on to that position. Great stuff from Maximilian Book, and he's up in second place. A strong race from Vanthor and Ortelli. The championship leaders will start on pole position for tomorrow's main race as they take victory here in Zandvoort in the qualifying race. And Maximilian Book will start in second position after a brilliant drive in his HDP Charouz Mercedes SLS. Nicky Meermanov, third place. Fourth place for Edvard Sandström, fifth for Caca Bueno, sixth place across the line, Andreas Zuber, ahead of Pro-Am class winner Sergei Afanasiev. It's another win for Ortelli and Vanthor. They won the qualifying race in Zolder, now they've won the qualifying race here in Zandvoort. Here's a look at the results then. Audi 134, Belgian Audi WRT after a very strong performance. Ortelli and Vanthor then taking the race win. Book and Alan Day in second place, 0.7 of a second behind. And then Meermanov and Rast in third position. And there you can see the BMW Z4. Strong result for them, Caca Bueno and Alain Coder, but they did benefit from drivers retiring in front of them. I don't think they only finished 6.5 seconds off actually, so that's not too bad. And their best lap was a 1 minute 41.4, which is well in the mix of the front-running times. Mike Parisi and Andreas Zuber saved a little bit of prestige for the Sebastien Loeb racing team after Alvaro Parent was forced out of the race on the opening lap. We can now hear from Stephane Ortelli. There they are, and just off camera is John Watson.
Stephane Ortelli, Laurens Vanthor, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's tough out there. I think he did most of the job. He did an amazing start. We can be proud, and I have to look carefully what he did yesterday, today, to do it again tomorrow, because it's a very dream start. I'm very sorry for Sebastien Loeb and Alvaro. I mean, they didn't deserve to have this DNF right from the first corner, so I'm sure they will come back tomorrow and we will have to fight tomorrow. Difficult race. Bravo, Laurens. Bravo, WRT. Bravo.
Well done. Laurens, tell us, at the start was 3 cars into one and normally not going to go, but you were in the inside and held the line and got the lead.
I think I had a good reaction on the line and I could come through. I got some help from my teammate behind with some bump drafting. And yeah, there was only a little hole in the first corner, but I was there and I wanted to go for it. And after that, we have to work a bit this evening because the car was very, very difficult to drive. Really problems to just keep it on the track already. So had a not so good car and we won, so I think we can be very, very happy.
Well done, congratulations.
Vanthor and Ortelli then taking the victory and holding the lead of the championship. So let's hear from our second place men. Maximilian Book and Alan Day are now with John.
Alan Day, great drive from you, a stunning drive from your teammate for second place.
Yeah, it was great to see my teammate. It was a pretty nice race to watch and to drive, of course. My start was a bit messy, but yeah, we settled down after a few laps and everything went perfect, you know.
Max, you had a number of goes at trying to get past the second place Audi. You did it. A lovely, lovely pass into turn 7.
Thank you. Yeah, I was all the time very close to him. Never really had the gap, but then he made some mistakes, and then I take the chance, and of course, yeah, went quite well. When I would not have stuck so long behind him, maybe I could have been attack Mr. Ortelli a bit more, but anyway, for tomorrow's race, it's not too bad.
Well, take your second place and enjoy it. Well done, guys.
Good afternoon and welcome to Zandvoort in the Netherlands for the third round of the 2013 FIA GT Series. And this is the main race where the big points are to be won as we reach the halfway point of this 2013 season. Here's a look at the grid then. It's Stephane Ortelli starting on pole position. Alongside him is Maximilian Buch. Second row of the grid is all WRT. Nicky Meyer-Melnoff and Edvard Sandström in third and fourth places. Fifth and sixth, we've got Caca Bueno and Mike Parisi in the BMW and the McLaren, respectively. Seventh and eighth place, we've got Sergei Afanasiev and Karun Chandok. Then we've got Aman Ibrahim and Harry Prochik in the BMW and the Lamborghini. Those are two cars that I think will be trying to make progress this afternoon because they've had good pace. Anthony Kumpen and Enzo Ede have been frustrated this weekend in their Phoenix Audi, and Lucas Ordóñez equally so in the Nissan. Patrick Kuhner will be hoping to get that Lamborghini to the end of the race unscathed after an incident yesterday. Ricardo Zonta starts so far back on the grid because they had engine troubles which saw them pitting regularly. Philippe Salaquada and Mark Szulcicki in 17th and 18th places. And then the last row of the grid, Sebastien Loeb and Max Brahms will line up at the rear of the circuit. So the main race is about to get underway here at Zandvoort. Third round of the 2013 FIA GT Series gets underway when the lights go out. Away we go, and it's a pretty decent start from the Mercedes as they pull to the outside. Already off is Ricardo Zonta towards the back of the pack, but look at that, the Mercedes with Maximilian Buch moves into the lead at the start of the race. Second place is still Laurens Vanthoor. Then it looks up and into fourth place almost is Mike Parisi trying to go around the outside as they filter now down through. Caca Bueno has a little bit of contact with Parisi. Karun Chandok's made a great start and is going to get pushed out as they come down towards Hugenholtz for the first time. And look at that Lamborghini, just keeping it out of the wall. Harry Prochik there, but a great start from Maximilian Buch. We go on board with Sebastien Loeb as he tries to find a way through.
He's just got to be patient. There will be opportunities. You can see him trying to force a way past the Lamborghini. The back end of the McLaren a little bit unstable as he came through the left-hander. Now up over the crest and dropped down this magnificent long right-hand corner. Got to hug the apex, and then immediately you're into master corner.
Through goes Caca Bueno, getting past Mike Parisi then as they come through Masters Box. And that was a good move from Caca. He's up. Oh, I think Parisi might have a problem, you know, because he's squirming all over the place. He stayed on the circuit though. I thought for a moment he might have an issue, but he's kept going, Mike Parisi. But Caca Bueno forces his way through then up into, I think that's actually ultimately fifth place, isn't it? Behind the three Audis and the Mercedes, side by side between Lucas Ordóñez and Aman Ibrahim. Aman Ibrahim on the inside in the black BMW coming down into the chicane. There's quite a lot of side by side going on down there. Ibrahim makes it through. Sebastien Loeb now trying to get past the AF Corsa Ferrari. And Philippe Salaquada, was that a bit of a touch there? It's certainly a bit of a jerk on the steering wheel, but he managed to get past, and now Anthony Kumpen is the next man in front.
I think it was a little bit of contact, probably also a little bit of curb on the inside, threw the car up, but a very aggressive opening lap. Look at this on the setup, and I mean cars now moving left to right. Very aggressive opening lap. We're watching from the lead of the Pro-Am Mercedes-Benz, but being overtaken. Oh my goodness, they've Ordóñez in the Nissan, massive.
Cesar Campanico in the Audi that just lost it under braking and went straight into the Armco on the inside of the barrier. So we'll wait and see whether the safety car is deployed. I imagine it will be as the race continues. Sebastien Loeb now trying to get past the Phoenix Racing Audi still in front. Throughout all that, we saw Harry Prochik make a great move around the outside of Sergei Afanasiev. Safety car is deployed then, so the race is brought under neutralization after that accident for Cesar Campanico. How far has Sebastien Loeb made it up the order then? Oh, look at this, they're still overtaking. Yeah, so maybe they haven't seen the safety car boards yet.
Well, the safety car board, but they should be seeing the yellow flags. Once the safety car is deployed, there will be yellow flags all around the racetrack. There we see it here at the Hugenholtz hairpin. There are the signs around the racetrack, so they've got to stop racing. There we, fortunately, out of the car, but limping. Looks like he's got a crack on the ankle. But we didn't quite see what caused the beginning of that incident, but it turned inwards, caught the barrier on the inside of the entry into Tarzan Hairpin, and it was spectacular, but fortunately nothing of serious consequence.
Here we go then, and we see Afanasiev runs wide, covers the inside, but whilst that overtake is happening, it's the car behind, it's the McLaren behind these two side by side, it's the Audi behind these two, under braking now.
tone of something. There's again, whether that's a failure on the car,
those cameramen,
or indeed the marshals just behind the barrier, or whether there was something with the brakes. We did have an issue this morning with one car with an ABS sensor failure, but that car turned pretty much sharp right. This is from Sebastien Loeb.
Yep, Loeb's view, and you can see the car going off just up in front on the run down into the first corner. And Caponico ends up going off into the gravel. Everyone avoids him, which is good news. But the red flag has been thrown here at Zandvoort. So on board we are with Ordonez through the Skyflock corner. There's quite a big gap actually, isn't there? Behind Aman Ibrahim, back to Anthony Kumpen. There's a huge gap. Look, there's Ibrahim in the BMW. Kumpen, well, he didn't even come into camera shot there. So,
I mean, it is.
In fact, it's not Kumpen in the next car along. It's Sebastien Loeb. So something happened out there to Anthony Kumpen's Audi, perhaps, because we appear to have lost him from the running order at the moment. That gives Loeb another position, but well, we'll see if we can find out.
This is where the safety car will accelerate away from the pack of cars. The safety car, or the chain of cars, is being controlled by Maximilian Buch. Everybody's trying to gain a little bit of tension, but you can see how close the Audi is sticking. Stephane Ortelli is not going to let Maximilian Buch make the break that we saw happen yesterday, when there was in fact Laurens van Thor in the Audi. So the Audis are glued to the tail of the Mercedes, and there are three of them in line astern. But the Mercedes has good grunt from low speed. We saw that at the start, and again has made that initial break.
Maximilian Buch goes for it. The Mercedes lead as the safety car comes in, and racing is back underway here at Zandvoort. They stream across the line. No real movement in the top few positions as they all break down into Tarzan hairpin, and Maximilian Buch actually has done a great job. We go on board with Lucas Ordonez. The car in front is, I think, Sergei Afanasiev, yes, in the HDP Mercedes. Squeezing now through this left-hander. Loeb taking a wider line in to try and get the run out on Aman Ibrahim. And he's very close actually. This might be a good opportunity for Loeb to move up into the top 10. Oh, there's almost contact between them as they come to a very fast part of the circuit. And Loeb unable to get through. There is Andy Zuber, so there must have been mechanical problems for that car. I wondered why they were suddenly at the back of the grid. Now they're in the pits.
Well, disappointment again for Sebastien Loeb racing. The sister car is hard, but that move that...
Here comes Caca Bueno. Caca Bueno going up the inside, but that's going to be a yellow flag zone. That was a definite overtake under the yellow flags from Caca Bueno. He moves up into 4th position for the time being, and that's where Anthony Kumpen's car got lost.
Yes, his car was being removed. He'll have to give that position back at the earliest convenience, because it was passed under a yellow flag station. So he will be penalised if he doesn't.
With Bueno going past Meyer Mounoff.
Yes, so Meyer Mounoff will have to give that back. The problem for the Lamborghini in the middle of the S is suddenly it looked like it had no forward motion. Now it's got it going again, and Natiev getting squeezed. Those two had a bit of form in the opening lap coming out of the final turn, the Harry Lion dive. So they're still at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry Project losing a bit of momentum through the S's, allowing Afanasiev alongside. A bit of a bump between them, but they both carry on. Across the line we go then. Maximilian Buch leads by 1.3 seconds then. Stephane Ortelli second, Sandstrom third. Bueno in 4th, but that was a bit of a dodgy move from him as they break into, there's a look, and Salaquada's about to be overtaken. Patrick Kuhner getting past and moving up into 12th place, and Ricardo Zonta's following through as well. Zonta in the BMW trying to get alongside the AF Corsa Ferrari. Not quite close enough. A little bit of a nudge as they come down into the left-hander. This could leave Zonta a little bit caught out to dry. The Corvette of Max Brahms trying to find a way past, but he's unable to. Here comes Ordonez, on board we go, looking to try and get past on the run down into turn 1. Afanasiev covers the inside line fairly comfortably in the end. Oh no, he's lost it! Fairly comfortably, I don't think so. He's taken too much speed into Tarzan, and Afanasiev spins. Ferrari going a little bit defensive. Ricardo Zonta trying to get past Felipe Salaquada. Around Tarzan, a little bit of a nudge. Zonta trying to bully his way past in the BMW, but he's not quite able to make that stick just yet. Now into the right-hand kink at turn 2, down into turn 3, the Hugenholz hairpin. Max Brahms is right with them. Felipe Salaquada struggling for pace at the moment in 12th position. Zonta wants to get past. Here's a look at the replay of Afanasiev going in too deep.
Yeah, you can see how much Ordonez has backed off. The gap just suddenly opens up, and that's because the Mercedes is entering on the wrong line and runs up the track. And of course, the top of the track is dirty and sandy, and just on the brakes, turning the wheel off the throttle. Just a classic incident. It happened to any of us on the road, let alone on a racetrack.
It's an open goal for Ordonez to move up to 8th place overall. Drive-through penalty for car 0. Caca Bueno for overtaking, under yellow flags. Lapping pretty well, it has to be said. 42.2s, very similar pace to the cars in front, but that drive-through penalty will put him right down to 16th place. That's a rear right puncture for Sergei Afanasiev. What a busy day he's having, and off goes Patrick Kuna, keeps it all together just about. Behind is Ricardo Zonta, who's been trying to get past Felipe Salaquada for as long as I can remember.
As the BMW now drives into the pit lane, this is Caca Bueno going to drive through for his drive-through penalty. Pit lane is opening in, what, 45 seconds from now.
But look at this scrap going on. It's Patrick Kuna at the head of it. The Ferrari tries to look to the outside. Here comes Ricardo Zonta. Could see that one coming a mile off. The Ferrari's in the gravel. And finally, Zonta has managed to push out Salaquada. He's been having little nudges all day. We go on board with Caca Bueno, who has now served his drive-through penalty. But let's hope they can get that Ferrari out of the gravel without the need for a safety car.
And let's watch again and see whether that was the case. There's the Ferrari over on the left. The BMW moves up the inside. It's almost, the BMW is sufficiently far forward that the Ferrari, when it shut down on top of the BMW, there was no more for the BMW to go, and I would imagine that won't get a penalty for Ricardo Zonta. But the car is now going to have to be pulled. We're going to, pit stop window is open. We're going to have a yellow flag situation down there. There is like nothing in the pits. I wonder, did he get into the pit lane at the point the pit window opened? He might just have managed to balance his speed on the return with the pit lane, and what could have been another pit stop, which would have been one to make the change of one tyre. I think they've just managed to do it, so they've got something out of a disappointing situation.
So
first the Audis has been in.
That's Nicky Meyer-Malnoff is handed over now to René Rast as he leaves the pit lane, and
that's
he's going very slowly.
He is going slowly.
René Rast is going very slowly, having just exited the pits, and I wonder if there's a problem for the WRT car. Well, I don't wonder it, I know it, but I wonder what it is, because that is a real shame for René and Nicky. It's difficult to see what the problem is.
Well, also,
he's pulling off.
He's pulled off. He's got a problem.
Into the pits comes both Stephane Ortelli and Edward Sandstrom as they make their way down. Into the pits also comes Sebastien Loeb to hand over to Alvaro Parent. But WRT obviously confident that they can get both of their Audis turned around with the same, with two different pit crews. No further action to be taken with that Salaquada Ricardo Zonta incident. They said it was a racing incident.
And that was my judgment. It was an almost 50-50 incident.
And look at that, out of the pits then comes the Audis, and we'll have to, can't quite make out.
Is that the way they came in?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Or they swapped over on the pit stop? It's hard to tell because we couldn't quite read the numbers of the two cars.
Into the pits comes the Mercedes. It's going to be close because HDP struggled a little bit in the pit stops. They lost time there yesterday, so this is going to be a big moment for them as into the pits they come.
It's a big moment for Alain Day as well, because Maximilian Buch has been absolutely mighty in this opening stint, used his advantage at the start, took the lead from the Ortelli Vanthoor Audi and has been unchallenged. Even though we had a red flag, we had a restart, and he was able to pull away pretty comfortably from the Audis behind. Now it's Alain Day into the car. There is the Audi, the lead Audi comes out of the Harry Lyondike corner, and the Mercedes is, well, it's
going to be close. Alain Day exits the pits. Laurens Vanthoor comes across the line, heading down into the first corner. The gap is fairly big, but how long will it take Alain Day to get up to speed? That's going to be the interesting thing. As we remain on board with Alvaro Parent, the pit stop window is about to close, but everyone has made their pit stops now, so that's not an issue anymore, and it's a straight-out fight for the lead of the race between Alain Day and Laurens Vanthoor, a fight that at the moment Day is winning comfortably. He just lapped a second quicker than Vanthoor, but it's all right, goes Parent, manages to keep it together, but he was pushing there. Here's a look at the replay of Alvaro coming into the Kumo box. He just runs wide.
Well, he ran wide, but he just freed the car up on the exit too much. Maybe just exited the corner a little bit earlier than he had hoped to do.
It's the battle over 8th place. We're looking back from Alex Bunkum's car to Alain Coder. I mean, Coder isn't going to risk anything really because they're in different classes, so even if he managed to get past Alex Bunkum, it wouldn't make any difference points-wise in the race.
Yeah, but remember, he's Brazilian. They love their motor racing. They never say never. They're going to have a go if they can get Jimenez can get that BMW into position. There's no doubt in my mind, whether they're in the same category or totally different categories, he will go for it. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong, but intuitively that's what I feel.
Into the Hugenholtz corner. You can see how much the BMW closes up through the
big
corners,
time.
and then in the straights, you'll see the Nissan just begin to edge clear. So the sun glinting off the roofs here in the Netherlands. The sun glinting off the cars as well as they come past. And there's the look! Oh, Alain Coder timed it nicely, but there wasn't quite enough of a gap there. As they come now down towards the S's again. Coder picking up speed, but he saw the gap, went for it, but Bunkum was pretty brave closing the door there. That could have been contact.
Yes, it was the one opportunity that we've seen so far that Jimenez has had. Ricardo Zonta watches on from the pit lane. Wide, wide, wide for Bunkum, and why was all that? Alex Bunkum got really wide on the entry into the Hugenholtz hairpin bend, and Jimenez must really now believe there's a problem for the Nissan, whether it's just the tyres or going away so much. Alex Bunkum really having to hang on to the car, not expecting to see that from the Somerset man in the Hugenholtz hairpin.
But this will mean that Alain Coder is closer than he has ever been coming into this part of the circuit. Look at that, really taking good speed through. And where will the move come? This could be his only real chance after that mistake. On board we go with Coder. Bunkum surely will cover the inside line. Coder will look to the inside but not be close enough. And has he lost his best opportunity coming through because of that mistake from Alex Bunkum?
The BMW behind the Nissan looking to me to be struggling on its tyres. BMW quicker but not again.
Oh, that's going to be a touch, isn't it? Just a little nudge.
Oh,
and then
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Forces his way through. Alain Coder moves up into 8th place, but look at the straight line speed in the Nissan. What can the BMW do? Alain will try and go around the outside here at the S's, bumping and boring, and he makes the move stick. Good stuff from Alain Coder. Here's a look at the replay then coming down into the chicane. Bunkum wasn't going to give him any room. He tried to turn in late, but full credit to Coder, he stuck in there.
Yeah, but I think fair credit to both drivers. They both realised that they're virtually wheel to wheel, side to side, and both drivers gave one another sufficient working room. I mean, that could have turned into a mess.
Through the right-hander at the Masters corner, down into the hairpin at turn 7, little nose up the inside from Frank Stippler, not close enough, and what you don't want to do is take out your teammate. WRT have had that happen to them in the past. Last year at Zolder, 2 of their drivers came together, and off that, which...
That's Parent, Alvaro Parent has pulled off.
That's Alvaro Parent out of the race. What a disaster. As if this weekend could get any worse. They finally look like they're going to pick up some points, and Alvaro Parent retires from the race. Absolutely devastating for them, for him and Sebastien Loeb, his teammate. Here comes Alan Day in the HDP Motorsport Gravity Cherouse Mercedes SLS. They are going to take their first win of the 2013 FIA GT Series. The checker flag is out. Alan Day and Maximilian Buch take the victory. Brilliant, commanding drive from them. There is Max Buch on the pit wall, over the moon. Across the line comes Van Thor, just holding on to that second position, and as a result, extending their lead at the top of the championship. Jan Seyfarth will have a comfortable run to 4th place now, with Dominic Baumann finishing in 5th position. Here comes Dominic Baumann. He is about to win the Pro-Am category, and this will surely move them up to the top of the Pro-Am standings. Yes, it will.
Been a good drive by Harry Project and Dominic Baumann. Feisty drive from Project early in the race, so they'll be very satisfied with that 5th place, and there's a 6th. BMW just a second behind.
Here comes Wolfgang Wright, running in 11th place, which is 5th overall, but across the line comes the BMW of Alain Coder, 6th and 7th. Here they are then, the results. Mercedes winning ahead of Audi in 2nd and 3rd positions, 6.6 seconds clear in the end, Max Buch and Alan Day, but they had pace in the tank, I think, for a lot more of a comfortable margin than that. Karun Chandok and Jan Seyfarth having their best performance of the season so far with a 4th place finish ahead of Harry Prochik and Dominic Baumann. Ricardo Zonta and Sergio Jimenez in 6th position ahead of their teammates Bueno and Coder. Shame for Bueno getting that drive-through penalty earlier on, otherwise they could well have been on the podium. Then in 13th place we have the third HTP Gravity Charouz car, Petr Charouz and Jan Stovacek winning the Gentleman's Trophy. Loeb and Parent retiring from the race with 3 laps to go. The same to be said of Andy Zuber and Mike Parisi, or rather they finished 3 laps down, having had to come into the pits with problems. Rast, Onidi, Houseman, Eid and Vieira all out of the race. Cesar Campanico retiring after that big crash down at the first corner. So, an excellent day of racing, and this is what it does to the championship. Stephane Ortelli and Laurens Vanthoor remain on top and extend their lead to 10 points over their teammates Edward Sandstrom and Frank Stippler. Max Buch and Alan Day, though, are now only 7 points behind, so they're definitely in the championship hunt, there's no doubt about that, but then there is a gap back to Nicky Meermel from René Rast, Peter Cox and Stefan Rosina. Carlos Caca Bueno and Alain Coder are now up into 6th place in the championship. And as far as the teams is concerned, Belgian Audi Club, Team WRT, romping away at the top of the field, and 2nd place, Sebastien Loeb Racing. Despite their continual difficulty, they're still there in 2nd place in the championship. Alan Day and Maximilian Buch on the top step of the podium then, but it's Laurens Vanthoor and Stephane Ortelli who extend their championship lead as we leave the Netherlands and head to the next round in Slovakia.